Welcome back to another episode of the Randy Wilson Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Wilson. This podcast is for the culture, from the culture, with two of our most culturally influenced individuals throughout the city of Richmond, quite frankly, the region. We have one of the recipients of the Women Who Lead Richmond.
Drive
Richmond and lead.
The ladies who lead, all of that.
And none other than Kelly Lemon. The real Kelly Lemon,
That's
actually.
me.
You're the real one.
I'm here.
I saw something the other day on the internet. I wasn't sure if it was you or not, but it's good to see you in person, Kelly. It's so good to see you in person.
Oh, stop it. You is not funny. That's not funny.
No,
don't bring that up right now. That's fighting words.
We're going to have fun with this episode. We are at the Creatives Playground. I got that right, ladies, right? We're going to have fun here, so I may talk to y'all too, just so that you know. We're here at the Creative Playground on South Side, and we're talking about the Richmond Black Restaurant Week experience. It's a big part. We're going to talk about some other things as well, though. But
cool.
So excited. 9 years.
It is. 9 years. Randy, you and I have been knowing each other probably 15 or so.
I joined the Urban League in 2008.
Okay, so that's now people gonna try to figure our age out, but right now,
I'm 39.
Yeah, so no. So we are in our 9th year, Kelly.
Yeah.
We are kicking off the 9th year of Richmond Black Restaurant Experience. It starts, I don't know when this is gonna drop, but this starts on March 9th and we run it through March 16th. Yeah. And so I have the pleasure to work with my friend all the time, and we kind of bounce things off. But we really love this opportunity to be able to talk to people more, maybe some things they don't know about Richmond Black Restaurant Experience.
Yeah, This is a citywide celebration highlighting Black-owned restaurants, food businesses, and culinary talent. This event not only boosts visibility, but it also boosts its economic support within our Black community and all communities, quite frankly. So it's just impressive to see you guys at 9 years. What are we going to see in this 9th year of the week that may be different from the previous years?
I think we've been intentional over the last 9 years of making sure that Black culinary brands are just known. They're an option, right? And so, she kind of gets mad at me because she's like, we need them to do it, need them to do this. And I'm like, they doing it. To be honest, we have sustained jobs. We have put some restaurants on the map. Some people have opened up their second locations, third, fourth. We're doing what we set out to do, which was to drive intentional dollars into these brands. And we only wanted it to be for a certain period of time. And then we expanded to 365. Now it's Black culinary brands are an option in the city of Richmond. And if they're not, it's a problem, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? We did what we needed to do to make sure that we were seen. And if we are definitely seen within our own community. And to be honest, that's really all that mattered. But to know that there's other people that now are whoa, but just why didn't I eat with y'all? Why didn't I spend with y'all? Why didn't I invest with y'all? That's the part I think we're looking, there's the change. There's where we're at as this has grown in 9 years.
I mean, because 10 years ago, there was a major gap. The RVA and Foodie, they meant something different, right? And I know for sure that 10 years ago, our restaurants, our businesses, our network was not included in that narrative at all. 0%.
Yeah.
I stand on that. We all stand on it.
There's receipts for it.
Yeah. There was a gap, and we actually stood in that gap, right? And to be able to see, I started to look at how many businesses have we touched. Well over 100 businesses over the past 9 years. And there's not a lot of organizations that did that. And it also kind of shook the table a little bit that other cultures and other industries are doing something very similar outside of the food space.
It just started with food.
Yeah.
It all started with food. But everything has grown because food is the comfort in it.
Because food is the bait, right? Yeah. Even in what we do, where it may seem like we are amplifying businesses or having cool events, it really is more about that. It's like waking up the consciousness of Black people too, right? Yeah. About this is how the impact can have. If you want to have a 20 or 30-year-old business, if you want to make your idea a vision, it takes a lot of things. It takes money and it takes marketing. And I believe that we have been very successful for our network of businesses and be able to do that. It's a gap, right? So we've been able to stand in that gap and empower businesses to take some of this burden and make make it theirs, right? We can't say what other people ought to do for us, and even what Richmond Black Restaurant Experience ought to do for them. They have been very empowered to say, this is my brand, this is my name.
I feel seen.
This is my grandma's legacy, and I'm doing it for that. And so we're doing it, as Kelly usually says, for the ancestors, and then I'll say for the legacy, the people that's coming before us,
So to me,
after us.
I look at this week kind of like homecoming. This is like the homecoming week for the Black restaurant industry. Talk to me a little bit about the things throughout the year that you do in collaborating with the restaurants that people may not see.
I mean, that's why we call ourselves more than it's more than a week, right? It's
I don't know if everybody knows that.
Yeah, it's an experience. Here's a little history. We started off with a big conglomerate of we are Black Restaurant Week. There's still that going on. We decided that Virginia being the birthplace and bigger than just a week, we decided that we weren't going to be just Richmond. So we are Virginia Black Restaurant Experience, so that it's more than just a week of us eating. It's how are you experiencing the Black diaspora or Blackness and soul, or just, the comfort that we bring through food, through different experiences. So, we started with the week, and then we added on signature events. So Mobile Soul Sunday, signature event, stick a fork in it. That's how we end it, because we're done. That is transformed into some other things. Art for the Soul. It used to be in the week. We pulled that out because, again, we can do art and food anytime we want to do that, right? And then we have something that's very special that is, centered around the give back too. We get with our one of our major donors and up the foundation that we sponsor, and then we bring Richmond Public Schools, and we've been doing this since day one, and for some serious one-on-one time with some Black professionals, some Black creatives, some Blacks in the culinary industry, and they have a good talk. So those are kind of like our signature events, and the ways that we've been able to expand them is Mobile Soul Sunday don't just have to happen one Sunday. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do a festival only one time. So that, and then the Heart and Soul brand we put underneath this umbrella, and that is it started out at Hardywood as just a beer festival, and now it is just a celebration of art and Black food at the same time. So we do a Winterfest at Massanutten where we go skiing, and this August we hope to be taking the brand down to the Hampton Roads area for intentional weekend where the ancestors really came from.
And on the business side, we also have created a channel, a network for them to collaborate with each other, right? Yeah. I am not a restaurateur. I happen to be a foodie, and I got a good friend who owns a restaurant, right? So we have created channels for them to talk amongst themselves, and I love to see it, right? They share resources if something is broken, if something needs fixed, if they need advice. There's a quasi-mentorship program that happens for some of the OG brands with some of the newer rookie brands. And that is actually what's missing in business, especially small businesses, especially small plus Black business, especially small plus Black plus oftentimes women-owned businesses, that they have really created a support system for each other. We have an annual owners meeting, and the magic happens, and I love to see it, right? Kelly and I could go like this, and then they do their thing, right? And to this point, it really hadn't happened.
Tell me, both of you individually, was there something about your makeup coming up in your younger years that you feel like shaped and prepared you to do this work?
So there's a couple of things. I always say I've always been this woman, right? I truly always have. The people that knew me in elementary school would not be surprised by anything that I say or do. But there's a couple of pivotal points and decisions that I made that kind of made this come to be. For real, Randy, if I'm really honest, 10 years ago, this was not in my crystal ball, right? It wasn't on the vision board. It wasn't in my 10-year goal plan, but the universe got a way of making things happen, right? And so one pivotal moment is that I made the decision to go to the Virginia State University. Absolutely. That's not just like a HBCU plug. It just talks about the decisions that you can make at 17, that there was already some consciousness and some intentionality in what you did. It was and HBCU was the only option. And in that familiar kind of breeding ground, it just shaped, it took what I had and kind of put form around it. And then much years later, it was actually joining a civil rights organization that was about the uplift and betterment and empowerment of Black people. So everything I have done has had a through line through it, right? Now, professionally, I work in other spaces, but this has always been my through line. And as I see personally this side of me grow, that's really what I have leaned more into. And so Kelli and I, we recently interviewed each other, and we were like, we connected socially and not necessarily through education, and we didn't grow up together, we weren't in the sandbox together, but there is a commonality, there is an intentionality that, has connected us, and I really do thank the universe for that, for sure, right? And I think it works for real, and then we got a crystal ball, and then we got a vision board, and we have a plan, and it did not exist 10 years ago, and it did not exist 6 months ago in some cases, right?
Yeah, I only do what I want to do. And I know that in my spirit right now, it is making sure that I know what my ancestor did. And so it's like, how do I make sure that I'm doing my part? Mimi brags about the fact that, she is proud of, her roots through Virginia State and her roots through civil engagement. I know I was born an entrepreneur. Like, I played, on some of the most ancestral grounds growing up and didn't know that that's where I was playing. And I was going to the whitest of the whitest and being real Black when I was at these whitest of whitest spaces. And they were still accepting me. Till the day I decided that I was going to leave VCU to work for Mama J's restaurant full time. Do you know that people were like, what?
Right. Right.
And I was like, I'm good. I got this. And when I could tell my good friend Lester Johnson, I quit. And he was like, all right, yeah, you got this.
Yeah.
And it was there. God's plans always. I am a big believer in that right now. I just told Bibi yesterday about a particular place that I wasn't feeling. It's not moving me yet. I'm not. I will feel it. Something will be triggered in me to say, go ahead, keep going. I promise you, Hank Sweet would have not been open for 8 years if there wasn't something in me that was like, Kelli, you got to keep this space open. So, in my true looking back at it all, I've always been a social person. I've always been able to connect with people. I've always been able to create an experience. I've always been able to give you a receipt on the history on why we did it first, and so you shouldn't feel a certain type of way because we proud and about it. But entrepreneurship is in my blood. Ownership is in my blood, and so I think that all of this naturally, it feels right. It feels good. And then it also feels even better when we walk away. And she about to retire me in a few minutes.
The number keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, when she retires me. And so I think, naturally, again.
But that's a different kind of freedom, Kelli. Like, to be fearless that way is a type of freedom that a lot of people never get to.
Oh, I know.
You guys have a lot of you have the right compatibility, it appears to me. I mean, it's not, we don't, as Black people, we struggle sometimes to just maintain our own house, more or less our community, right? And the fact to see you guys come together in business as two strong business people, period, to do this for the community is commendable.
Yeah.
You learn to meet people where they are, too, as you get older. You're like, because sometimes it's you, yo. And so, like, when you feel something in somebody else and you like, like, well, wait a minute, though. What am I doing? What am I giving off? And how am I making sure that, I'm listening, they listening to me, and we've done this now long enough, and with other people that we know now that it's business and personal, what I'm saying? But we also respect each other that, we never let the personal affect the business.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird combination.
No, it's a good combination because Kelly brings all this, right? And so that is.
What you talking about?
No, but instinct is good,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, Kelly, we supposed to still eat too. So maybe
Yeah.
it's been instinct, me eats. So,
Yeah.
so we run a business. And
Yeah.
I asked Kelly, I said, do you think that people realize that Richmond Black Restaurant Experience is not a brand, it's a business, right? So we have to be sustainable in business. And I'm like, Kelly, I know you want to really do that thing, but here's the numbers. This is what makes sense. But we still have.
And I'm never thinking that the thing ain't gonna make sense. I'm like, I got it. And let me say this right now. I am not asking for this, but I do believe that I've had a couple of hiccups that have caused me to fail that allow me to do that, to allow me to push it just to the level to like, I'm gonna be okay because I've fallen deep before that I know, the limit on it.
Yeah.
But I'm scared though.
Good partnership, though.
Yeah, I'm
It is,
scared
yeah.
though.
A good partnership. Share with us, give me one success story that's came over the past 9 years that deserves to be, brought to light. Like help bring somebody else in with one of the success
I
stories.
could give you 4 million success.
I know, but give us one special one that stands out.
If I had to do a little name dropping, and I think that
It's okay, we'll tag him.
He would agree to this, but the Lindsay Food Group.
I mean, that's the easiest one to
Yeah,
give.
the Lindsay Food Group was not the Lindsay Food Group 6 years ago for sure.
Pandemic, November.
Yeah. So in 4 years, the Lindsay, I think we all stopped counting. 13.
Yeah.
I think they've opened 13 brands. They don't even try to count them off themselves. So the Lindsay Food Group really had Mike Lindsay and Kim Love Lindsay got a relationship with Kelly. And their flagship.
I literally told him to leave what he was doing
Yeah.
and open your own thing.
But you see-
while on speakerphone while he was around. I mean, that's how hard I went, but it was.
But that's the fearlessness
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
the freedom,
that's the
right?
instinct
So
piece,
Mike's
yeah.
story is that he was working for an organization and they didn't necessarily see his worth or value. And Kelly encouraged him to say, do it scared. Do it without the perfect plan. We certainly work without the perfect plan. And so the Lindsay Food Group started in the pandemic in 2020 with Lily Pearl, and we stopped counting. I know it's over a dozen brands, or they've opened over a dozen brands in that period of time. So we won't say that. I think Mike would tell you that the Richmond Black Restaurant Experience was absolutely kind of pivotal in that launch of his flagship, for
No,
sure.
that's it.
Can we get ahead of ourselves just a little bit? Because
Yeah.
we're at year 9.
Yeah.
I can't help to think about year 10.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's going to be a monumental. Are you already thinking about that? Anything you
do.
can shed on that?
No.
Maybe later?
but no.
We can come back. I
Yeah.
think we might pull up, stick a fork in it, and on that day, I might ask you again. Because at that day, you're past 9, right?
Yeah, because we'll be
what they
launching.
do?
Well, actually, in our season 9, we are coming back and rinse and repeat, and we'll do another week in September.
Okay.
And this will be the first year that we have 2 weeks.
Okay.
So again, growth, right? Growth, expansion. Our visions are bigger. So our second week is September 14th through
Okay.
21st.
But what we're gonna stop doing though, Randy, is not focusing on like the experiences in general, because the experiences literally have the food component in it. We gotta shout out. The food trucks is killing it out here.
Yeah.
The caterers are killing it out here. And it's like, how are we, yes, we're gonna give our love to our brick and mortars, but as Lester Johnson said on the show recently, they only got 40 seats. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about all these restaurants, and even if you got 20 of them, we trying to reach thousands of people, right? And so how do you do that? You do that through experiences. So although we are the marketing engine, what experiences can we create around these restaurants and these food trucks and these brands and caterers so that we, as a business, are making money because we're creating an experience and everybody's eating. So I think even when we look at year 10, we're gonna kind of rev up a little bit on our experience packages.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think. I mean, that's the whole beauty and enjoyment of food.
Yeah.
It's the experience of it.
Who all gonna be there?
Who
You
gonna
know,
be there,
like
right.
you know, like
preparation.
what the music sounding like? You know, even it could be the littlest things. And not to cut you off, I also think that Richmond is owed about 20 to 30 new little things. Whether that we need a couple more lounges, we need a couple very specific bars, we need a couple more just. And I don't want to use the word trendy, but I want to use the word hit it on the mark spots that you continuously go to, and when people come into town, you know, they go to those spots. But like 20 of them.
But
Right.
and my take on all of this is the how, right? So how the
how's
economic
that
the economic empowerment. So we partner with tourism. That's our regional tourism, our BOK, RVA, and Virginia's for Lovers, because there is a trend for people coming into the Commonwealth, right? But specifically into Richmond. Richmond has to be cool. It has to be a destination place. So, you know, we are part of more than conversations when it comes to that. But I am always committed to the business development of it all. You ask any business, food or non-food, what's the thing that they need? They'll save money, but it's really more than money, because we fail with money all the time, right? So it's like the education, the resources, the network, the people, the energy that becomes the real engine. And if people want to support and want to see these things grow, go support with your pocketbook, with your wallet. You know, there's a blackout, a case study, if you will, about boycotting versus buying in. We must buy in. We must lean into Black business. We must lean into Black ownership, because locally, you know, you can, it's nothing against Cheesecake Factory, have your first date at Cheesecake Factory if that's what you want. But we need to be in Jackson Ward. We need to be in Southside. We need to download this list that y'all been asking for on RBRE 365 and pick those restaurants, and don't make it a trend that happens the first week of March. Go all the time.
And RBRE 365 is just your resource for Black culinary brands within Central Virginia. So the food trucks are up there, the caterers are up there, the restaurants are up there, and you could go anytime. Nobody should say, gosh, I wish I could find where, you know, the Black restaurants are. That's annoying.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
is.
saying? At year 9, that's annoying.
Yeah,
that's annoying.
It is. It also said maybe we got a little work to do.
I had this conversation with someone the other day. Like, have you been? Just go out, just drive, just go explore.
I said about 4 times a week. I said, Kelly, let me tell you what they're saying on Facebook, girl.
Yeah, I mean, she stays on it, you know, and so that's why I probably don't stay on it, because I also feel like we are options, you know, like if we were struggling, if we were closing, if we heard those grumblings, yes, we're hearing the same pains as all the hospitality industry heard. But if it was very specific, like, oh my gosh, like dire straits, we're not hearing that. Yeah. So
what are barriers that you feel like that people need to know right now that Black business owners are experiencing in the restaurant industry?
Hospitality.
Yeah. So staffing is a major issue. I think I did a piece for RTD recently that they talked about the culinary vision board. Like, what are some
Richmond
things?
Magazine, shout them out.
Oh, so Richmond Magazine. One time for Richmond Magazine,
Yeah.
asked some food influencers what did they think the future looked like and what was missing. And every one of us mentioned technology. And especially Black people, we got to lean into not just what was, but what will be as well. And so there has to be a way to get a good infusion of AI and Charles. Get you a Charles.
I just used Charles the other day.
Right.
Get
you some Charles. Get you AI. Lean into technology. Going into restaurants and seeing a robot is that may be the wave, right? And so we can't be resistant about what seems like it's going to be an ultimate thing to happen.
But to your point, the barrier is once you do lean in, then that takes the pressure off of something else. The one thing that we struggle on the most is probably the back of the house, the administrative part, right? And so when you look at the POS systems that we have monthly and annual fees for, those machines have so many things in them, and if we had somebody to sit down and literally program and play with these to the best capacity of the space, you don't even know what you could be maximizing from your marketing to your product inventory. Is so much, right? But not all of us can afford the same POS systems, right?
It still goes back to money.
Yeah, so it does. It goes back to that. But all right, social media. What are other ways that we could, use it? So we can be on social media and AI can write our scripts for us. Penny's just in a Super Bowl commercial about the fact that they use Gemini to do their subscriber list or make sheets and stuff for them. So besides AI, also being able to maneuver through the forms. Okay, so if you got to get this permit, if you got to go through this inspection, and then how many realistic days does that take for you to do that? And then once that is set up or sets you back, how do you make sure that you had enough capital or had enough resources or had enough help to keep going?
Just good. Do you target market churches? Is black churches supporting the black restaurants?
Look at you, Randy. I saw another interview where you asked a question like that.
I think it's needed.
That's crazy. I don't even think about it.
I'm thinking about it from the standpoint when we leave church, we go eat a lot of times. I'm just thinking, is there any?
I do not think that is. And well, in the networks that I'm talking to,
they go to Golden Corral.
That's not You old. You do old people. That's not what they're doing.
So we know who our target, because the analytics tell us who follows our page, right? By and large, women are following. So brothers, hey y'all.
Yeah.
Hey y'all. By and large, I mean, hey. Boo.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
Bring us back so we can talk about that.
So they're not coming. They're not needing?
No. I'm saying by and large,
women
we have a huge female following.
They're making the money.
And Kelly cute as hell. So I don't know why more men are not.
That's just in general in terms of engagement, wanting these new experiences. I don't know why the guys are not.
You know what it really
out.
is that women control discretionary dollars. And so if Kelly said that the black restaurants are an option, eating is a priority. Everybody eats, right? But women really control the purse. And we can ask Dr. Mia, but it doesn't matter who makes it. It's really women, in their motherhood, even in their sister circles, is women that's making a lot of financial decisions about how discretionary dollars. And at the cost of inflation in these eggs, Lord, if it comes down to how many times we're dining, it's probably who's carrying the checkbook that's making those decisions.
And Sunday is not that day anymore. Right. Like Sunday is not. People aren't rushing to go eat on Sunday unless you're going to brunch.
Because maybe people aren't going after church. Because church is it's virtual now too.
Church is different.
Yeah, church is different.
Yeah. So that night of the week, where we also used to think industry night was like Monday night. That's not the case anymore. It's falling on like a Tuesday. So it's trending.
Yeah. So to the answer to the question about the black church, I think faith looks different and people fellowship different. So the after church crowd doesn't necessarily start at 2, right? Because I can go watch Jamal Bryant today, right? Or we churching right now. I think people kind of think about that differently. It's still a place where black people convene. And if black people convene, they still got to eat. We encourage all of our faith-based folks to come out and support as well. But I know what you did there.
I don't know what you did.
I know what, go ahead.
I don't. I really don't.
I saw your last interview. You asked about faith.
Well, I mean, no, I asked the question because I think we should lean on the church more. I do. I think we should. Strategically, I think we should lean on the church more.
Twofold, but I mean, the church is people. So in the city of
Richmond,
it's
a business too.
There's 230,000 people.
And when the church got to have an event, why not connect with a black restaurant?
Because they cooking in the basement, Randy.
If they going to church, that ain't like it used to be.
Well, I would say this: the ones that I know that are a little bit more progressive, they're calling the food trucks out. So they are leaning on it. They're bringing the food trucks out. I mean, we got good examples of other things that are non-traditional, like some of our homes for our elderly. They're bringing the food trucks out. So, like,
I'm gonna ask a question. I don't mean for it to sound ignorant. It might, but it's not intentional if it does. So don't be hard on me. But like, obviously, I know black restaurants, but like, this is more culturally though. Like, you expand outside of just traditional. Typical black, like, because I saw.
What's typical black?
I mean, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about like, is there intentionality behind different Caribbean spots?
Yes.
And because I saw a food truck down at Poplar Springs Hospital the other day, actually made me think during lunchtime, and I was like, I'm starting to notice they pulling up like every Wednesday. I'm starting to see more of that. leaving the city. This was down like in Chester.
Well, if you want to talk a couple of politics, we could talk about things leaving the city.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, what I think I heard is there are more Black-owned restaurants than the ones that participate in our network.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
way
yeah.
more.
Right. So
way
because
more.
there is a process to be in the network.
Tell me about that.
But wait a minute. But more into your conversation is it's not just fried chicken,
Yeah.
mashed potatoes, corn.
Right.
It is a whole bunch of different flavors
Representation.
of Blackness represented.
I'm thinking about experience.
Yeah. And infused. I mean, we went from soul taco to Jufro to what was our Korean and Black.
the food truck, that fusion.
Food truck to some of the ones that are that'll be at Monroe Park for Mobile Soul Sunday. Yeah, so it's it's bigger.
Well, maybe we, the people, need to understand what is the process.
So there is a process. So if you go onto our website, again, we have unlimited capacity as well, right? So our capacity to manage this and our capacity to people wanting to be a part of it. Some restaurants are too small to get this kind of amplify, right? Could you really handle, if you are a carryout, can you handle 5,000 people? You probably can't, right? Because they don't have the staffing, they don't just have the bandwidth. So it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't want this. They want to be a carryout. They want to be a ghost kitchen. They too support, but this kind of intentionality, this huge push, and it can't hold and it can't fit everybody. Again, Kelly's been talking a bit about our mobile food trucks. They need this almost as much, if not more, than the brick and mortars. This year, during Richmond Black Restaurant Experience and our kickoff event at Mobile Soul Sunday, we have 32 mobile food vendors. They too are businesses, and people probably forget that, right? They need this economic push because they don't start working usually until this event. They haven't worked since late fall, because it's outdoors and maybe some spot things.
Middle of October is probably last time they were.
And so festival season, and I am, until somebody challenges me, Mobile Soul Sunday is to kick off a festival season in Richmond.
So you go to our website and you can sign up.
Yeah.
But there's a fee.
Yeah,
You know, and that fee is because we put in the work to make sure that we intentionally can put your business out there, but also make sure that you're ready. Like I think that's the main thing that we're saying is that we're like, not that we don't want you, because we want everybody. But we also don't want you to fail, and we don't want you to get bad reviews nor us put you in a bad spot.
Yeah, because we do become the Black Yelp.
Yeah.
You know, we end up getting tagged and seeing all the things. So we want you to be able to do well, make a lot of money, but also have good quality service and a good product.
Is there a educational mentoring piece that you add to those restaurants who are not in it so they can kind of come up?
So our network, like we mentioned earlier, there is resources that are available 365 days a year, but we do kind of limit that to our network. There are things that we oftentimes are asked to put out, resources, grants, and some recovery and some money, gap money when the pandemic was happening and people had to learn how to figure PPPs and EIDLs. We did that for everybody through our channel and network. So if you follow us on socials, you'll oftentimes get that. But we do have something special. We do provide information for people that's in our network.
Yeah, but we also make sure you can go to the NBL, hit up JWC Foundation. You know, City of Richmond. There are already orgs for your business part and how you get involved. And our hope is that because we're partnering with those three orgs, then once you've gotten your thing together and you're ready to join the network, then
we can toss back and forth. Yeah.
I want to make sure I understand something, because you're branded with a lot of things regionally with tourism, and you said
statewide with tourism.
Statewide, and you said Virginia, which I think is great because it doesn't just put you in this Richmond solely. Are there plans in the future to take this? Like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, well, we've been to Petersburg twice last year. Heart and Soul, like Kelly mentioned, was in Massanutten and Harrisburg.
So some of the restaurants went with you, I'm assuming.
So no,
we just again Virginia, which means we are engaged in that.
Okay,
that part of that. Yeah. So when we go to Hampton, we want to be with the Hampton food people.
We did take our Richmond-based businesses to Petersburg.
I understand.
Right, and then we're moving around the state, engaging those businesses, and taking some of our OG Richmond businesses.
I just really understood it better.
Okay.
It just now really clicked for me to really see the bigger picture statewide.
Okay.
How you guys are a machine that can take
And recreate.
local businesses in whatever local geographic area that is and expand it.
Yes.
Let me ask
You
you
need to add
this.
to- I mean,
Let me
y'all
ask you
got a team. Is
this.
this y'all too?
Well, we got, it's a couple. It's more people with us that you see is the most.
It's
But-
just us two, and I have asked for staff. I asked her to hire. She will not
What,
release.
Kelly?
She will
What,
not
what?
release. I
What,
know,
what?
and that's the part. We
What,
don't have
what?
the money to pay the staff,
Okay.
so but we don't even pay ourselves.
You got a model, but you have a model here that I'm seeing that, wow, this could be.
So Randy, just imagine if somebody gave us $10 million.
Yesterday it was 20. So
No,
now-
20 for something else. I'm
Okay.
just us two.
Okay.
For just us 2 we need 20 to 30 just
Yeah.
to really just run.
Yeah.
But if somebody gave us $10 million, there's a couple of brick and mortars, there's a couple of trucks we put on the road, there's a couple of educational tracks. You can't forget about that either. There's so many good Instagram cooks that are like, I'm not going to culinary school, but what if there was another platform in order for you to get trained in a kitchen? It's just it's so many things.
I see you all like creating like a cabinet, like a hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a cafeteria hall where there's all black restaurants in it. That's powered by you guys.
Well, that's what the proposal for Diamond District was when we got in that bid and won that bid. But that's what it was supposed to be, and that's what we are. If all goes through, then that's the next step on that part. But I mean, we want that. I mean, I would love a whole block of that.
So let me shake the table.
Everything.
Can I
is
shake
together.
the table then?
Yeah.
So Kelly and I swap back and forth about what our vision is or what we need for each other. So Kelly has a dollar amount. I said, Kelly, I got a gift that I want to give to you. I want to give you some keys, right? And so keys have now become a metaphor for some land, some dirt, some. The brands are cool, but a lot of our business owners don't own their spaces, right? And so it's not what was, it is what is, that we are going into the Diamond District. We are a part of a MBE plan with the city of Richmond and those partners that is not about, because it has to be inclusion, right? There should not be a part of this city that we do not have representation in. You cannot limit me to Southside or to Jackson Ward, and God bless both sides of those hills, but I get to be in Scott's Addition. I get to be in the Fan if I want to. I may not want to, but there is no limit on where we could have these experiences. I asked a group of partners and investors, what makes a 40-year-old black woman leave Southside to come to Scott's Addition? And the answer is what Kelly and I have presented to them. That's the answer. And I'm gonna come back in 6 months and I'm gonna tell you if the answer is on point or not. Sorry, I don't want to shake the table because Sharon will get mad at me. But yeah.
You gonna run for mayor?
They don't make enough
We
money.
can talk about that one day.
Now you really saying things up.
So for both of you, give me a hidden gem black restaurant that just, I mean, we love them all, but one that stands out to you that people may not know about as much, is up and coming. Just give me one, each of you.
Urban Hang Speed, my favorite
That ain't no
coffee
hidden
shop.
gem.
Listen, there are a lot of...
Everybody knows
No,
about it.
Kelly is the owner. I'm a consumer. And one of the reasons that keep more people from experiencing, they may have heard it, but did you come and spend a few dollars at Urban Hang Suite located at 304 East Broad? Parking. Oh, I know about the Hang Suite, but coming downtown is tough. So you may have seen it, but have you really taken the effort to bypass some of those big brands and really come and experience Urban Hang Suite?
Go eat the cinnamon thing. What is it? It's not a brownie. It's a muffin.
The muffin.
Go eat the cinnamon muffin. It's like 600 calories.
Listen, my favorite is Mercedes chicken salad. I've been there today. I had a chicken panini. They treat me well down there at Urban Hang Suite.
Listen, I know what she's doing, and I know what you're doing,
But
and I
I'm not
appreciate
gonna
her for
it's
doing
true,
that, and I
it's
get
true.
you. But at the same time, to your point, we got a lot of hidden gems, and I've been open 8 years. If you haven't been to me yet, that's on you. That's how I feel
But
about it.
I know you
and
have
I
heard.
get you.
Okay.
I get you, but I do feel like there's some other people that need to get
And we're gonna
shine
give-
and credit
all right,
too.
and we're gonna give
And
them
you know
credit.
how I like to
I
be
know.
like, it ain't
Richmond's
about me.
big cheerleader right here, by the way.
It ain't about me. It's about, again, what's
we
the
going
other
to.
stuff.
We going to.
Yeah.
But you've done this in both capacities. Just accept your flowers too.
Yes,
I
Kelly.
do, but
You
I
are a
also,
business owner of a Black restaurant
I know.
as well.
I also, let me also say this. I'm also the co-founder of this brand too, and so again, I want to make sure we sit on that side because we are always gonna big up the Hang Suite.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're gonna sit on this side, let's make sure that we're also saying some other people's
Yeah.
names
Yeah.
because we always gonna make sure I'm good.
I'm not.
So thank you.
Yes.
However, Ann, let me
No.
let me name some people.
So that, but the coffee is different than the other things, right? And seriously, when we tell you that we love everybody that has ever been in the network, because this year may not have some of the same participants as past years, and we really try to go and eat around all the time, right? We're going to do some pop-ups this year. I would like to say that we have some special things that's happening throughout the week, and Kelly has committed to support some of the businesses that are selling a special cocktail.
But let's go back. See, she's trying to avoid the thing. I want to name the
hidden
I want to
gems.
name some hidden gems
hidden gem?
because that
They
was
go
the
get
question to which you asked.
Yeah.
Okay, so some
Just jump in, Kelly.
I mean, again, if you haven't been to Penny's, and that I mean, I'm saying that because that's not only my brother, but also again. Unique. They are a wine boutique downtown competing with VA wine. Like that's award winning.
Yeah.
You got to go in there and you
Yeah.
got to kind of experience that. I love Farm and Oak. I mean the food. It's Lily Pearl over on the other side, but again, the quality, the freshness of the food is extremely well. You know, again, we have an award winning dessert. Ice cream dessert chef with Rubia, with Ruby Scoops, you know?
I'm not familiar with that. I'm learning.
Ooh, yeah, Ruby. I
Okay.
mean, again, she's doing big things, and she's been one of our success stories as well, from being just a pop-up at food festivals to now this is her second brick and mortar with a couple of other businesses too. So
And some new people. There's some places that I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
So ask me after the week. So
Yeah.
I haven't been to Eaton.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Eaton. That's they're located in the old Morton's building. I haven't been there yet. So shout out to Vontae and team. Kelly's gonna come to Eaton this doing RBRE. I haven't been to Trevor's. They are
that's
new
another
to
good
us.
one. Over
I
Williamsburg.
hope y'all listening because when y'all start asking about not knowing places to go,
Yeah.
here we
Yeah.
go.
I haven't been to Trevor's yet. That's in the East End, right? And so ownership
learning.
same as Just Crab.
Oh yeah,
The old Just
Yeah.
Crab. So I haven't been there yet, and I haven't been to Eaton yet. Two new, and I've been to both of them, but two new to our network is the Black Olive. It is a black-owned pizzeria. That's on Broad Street, and so it's huge in there. It's beautifully decorated. Same ownership. I've been a couple of times to Mary Lou's. So some of the hidden ones are maybe some of the newer ones. So those are some Black Olive, Mary Lou's, Eaton, Trevor's,
My boy over at Broad Riviera.
Riviera. Yeah.
Again, and here's the other thing. So we have such an expansive list. You got to decide what vibe you want before you go in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because some of them are straight. You know, my fork and my knife is here, and then some of them all of a sudden, you know, you feel like, whoa, wait a minute, I want to get about this chair.
Yeah.
And then the other ones where, I'm out this chair, I'm on this table. It's you know, somebody give me some wings for this let out. You know, so when I wanted to make sure we said some spaces that may be overlooked or may not even been given a try because again the focus is the food.
This is great.
Yeah.
And I want to shout out my guy Barry Farmer with the Barry Farmer Morning Show because he was complaining to me the other day about some of the restaurants that were leaving. And I don't even know I don't know half those places you guys just mentioned. So here's an opportunity to educate people on what's new and what's coming.
I love that you
here.
said it that way too. We used to refer to like the McDonald's and Burger King of Richmond Black Restaurant Experience. It's like the Croquet Spot and Mama J's. It was almost the ones that people know for sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes people end up not patronizing because they're like, oh, I can get to Leicester in a minute time. No, go.
But we can shout out Mama
Go.
J's because I
Go.
saw them on
Good morning.
Good Morning America.
the other day.
Yeah.
And I was just so happy. I mean, you can't live in Richmond, be from Richmond, and not want to celebrate the success of Mama J's being on TV like that. That not only brings attention to Mama J's, that brings attention to the whole city,
To the city.
and all the other restaurants as well.
And like
so.
Southern Kitchen's expansion over to Stony Point, where I think we almost like thought we were going to grieve it from not being in Jackson Ward,
Yeah.
but what Shane is doing over there in Southern Kitchen.
And the new restaurant, you know, kind of got into that space to kind of, to your point, you know, yes, there's some in our network, but there's so many that aren't in our network, but we still support them.
Yeah.
Like, I eat out 100% of my meals.
That's crazy.
And
You don't cook nothing at home?
Kitchen spotless.
I don't have to. Like, can I? Yes. But I don't have to. You know, that's the lifestyle I live right now.
Yeah.
And because I choose black first. And then I choose woman next. And so I got to give a shout out. You know, Kendra Feather, the brands that she touches, you know, to me are very much so making sure that voices are heard and seen. And she's been very consistent with the black. So I got to shout her out only because Leah Branch, her head executive chef, is a black woman, and her head sommelier is a black man. And so, like, I'm in the Roosevelt eating.
And, you know, and those other brands support us too. So this is not a competition amongst the black brands or all of the others, because there is another restaurant week, I think, that happens in Richmond, right?
There's a couple of restaurant weeks that happen in Central Virginia. Yeah. All three counties got it now.
This is a food place.
Yeah, all three counties.
Whether we black,
Yeah.
white, orange, or green, this is food.
Because there is magic in food. It really is. And you know,
But the cultural experience that you guys are
and that
curating
is what
Experience is the key word.
Yeah.
And we've done partnerships with some of our community cousins over the years, from Anjali Moon and the Moon Sisters of the film festival, and Ashley Williams with the Well Collective.
The night market.
Yeah, the Richmond night market.
We're with the art scene now, though.
And so Ron Stokes and the art scene creates our marketplace at these events too. So not only do you have the black food experience, you get the black culture and art experience as well. And they too are small businesses. Literally, I think that Mobile Soul Sunday will have 65 small black-owned businesses in Monroe Park.
Wow. So 30-some food trucks.
Yep, and then
That's a lot.
the marketplace,
goodness.
our creative team is black, our entertainment team is black, the market.
You got to count all of them. Rayvon is a brand. Cabela is a brand.
Yeah.
You know, Rock Twan, they all brands.
Yeah.
And these are always peaceful events.
Yeah,
These are all
that's
peaceful
right.
events.
And I didn't mean to knock, but I had to knock because you got. That's the I'm superstitious.
Right.
So you say something like
I mean,
that.
but they are though. I mean, I applaud that. I applaud that.
We literally think about everything.
We can come together, eat good, have fun.
This
and
is
do it in
family.
peace.
This is food. This is fellowship.
I'm just
The
looking at
only
y'all.
thing,
Y'all, we good over there?
the only thing I can't control is the weather.
Okay.
That's the only thing else. Everything else, we put some real intention into and some real thought in it.
All right. If Richmond Black Restaurant Week
Experience.
had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh, we got so many places we could go.
It might be
with that.
different this year, right?
It could be.
Any song? Any song?
Hey, we play songs every morning, Kelly. We start our day every morning.
Not like that?
No, that wouldn't be. I like that we both said no. I'm gonna give you a theme song and you insert it in here in post production.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know.
All right.
All right, check this out. You got somebody visiting Richmond, right? And you want to send them on a food tour. But they can only make 3 stops: breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
All right, Kel. Where we start with breakfast. Let's see if she answers
you
the right
have no
question.
choice. You gotta come to the hang suite.
Come get some coffee and get your day started, right?
You got to come to the hang suite for breakfast because again, that is what we specialize in. And then if you were going to go to lunch, I would probably. What day of the week is this?
Let's say Wednesday.
Ooh.
And let's take in consideration time.
Okay.
Time too. You know, like they got an hour and a half.
Oh, an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's tough. It's
Okay.
part of it.
And you got to go to 3 places an hour.
No, just for at lunch you got an hour and a half. So you got to
okay.
like you can't go anywhere where you got to wait too long.
Okay.
Mama J's a Lily Pearl then.
Okay.
For lunch, that's your
For
lunch
lunch,
spot.
for lunch, and then
Dinner.
Yeah, dinner. If you got time, then you need to go to. I'll probably take them to Shane's. Probably go out that way because you get the whole mall environment. But again, if it's a Wednesday night, you need a good glass of wine over at Penny's don't hurt.
Do you think there's a message that people will take away from this experience this year that may be different than the previous years? And I'm taking consideration the whole experience of the week, stick a fork in it. Maybe it may be the same, but is there something about this that you think may be different?
I told our owners the other day that if it feels different, it's because it is, and it should. Things should feel different. I don't want it's a bar, so maybe I'll come up with our own song. So it should not always be exactly the same. It shakes it up for us. It keeps us thinking. So our underlying theme has always been culture meets cuisine. That's always where we're rooted in. But things will feel different. The theme remains the same. I think it's been a lot of focus on our mobile trucks, again, because people forget about them. They literally do. So I think you'll see a lot of emphasis in our mobile world. But then also we have been launching and talking about other things that we are doing as a business too. And we hardly ever, just how you had to pull the hang suite out of Kelly, we've been also growing as a business as well. So we got some new things that's coming. We encourage people to stay tuned for more breaking news. Yeah.
If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, Kelly.
Blue crabs. Blue crabs. You can take them out of the river, and I can have a fire pit right there, steam them things up, and I'll crack them. I'll crack them while they're alive too.
I'll start with dessert.
For the rest of your life?
For the rest of my life, I start with dessert.
What's that going to be?
So, something very decadent, something very bad for you. That's I'm going to stay out your muffins. I got one in the car. Every day, it's too sweet. I'm a sweet girl.
I like peach cobbler.
I'm a sweet girl. Shout out to Pig and Brew. They got some good peach cobbler.
So wait, you would eat peach cobbler for
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Desserts. No, if I eat one meal for the rest of my life,
It's definitely dessert for me.
that's tough. That's hard. Because I don't want it to be. I want to live. So it's got to be somewhat healthy, right?
You didn't say that part now, right?
I like oatmeal, but I don't know.
Randy, that was so bland. That was so bland.
Oh, God. The rest of your life, you can put some oats and some water. And I guess you just gonna sustain.
It was black.
That was a very practical, minimalistic answer.
I'm sorry, but I love oatmeal, and if it
Oatmeal?
Look, my wife took my black card, so if I got it back just now by eating oatmeal, I'll take it.
You got it.
I love my oatmeal.
Oh my gosh.
No, I like seafood though.
Yeah.
My seafood is my. If I could eat anything, it'd have to be seafood.
Yeah.
I want to get into the celebration and the recognition. I just said it wrong a few minutes ago. You're being recognized tomorrow. This will be out. By the way, today is Thursday. Right? This will be out probably by Saturday. So we're going to be marketing this.
So this was yesterday. So I got an award yesterday. Right.
Yeah. And by the way, before we get into that, if you're a blog, if you're a podcast, if you're a content creator, make sure you show up this week at show up in the restaurants, tag the restaurants, whether it's Stick a Fork in it or
Mobile Soul Sunday.
Create content.
Yeah.
That's what this is around. And tag.
Yeah.
It's only mutually beneficial, quite frankly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so I want to talk about this thing you're being recognized for. I'm just so happy to see you recognized. I saw it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So I was nominated, and the concept, and Kelly knows because her business, her other job is a sponsor of it. So it's called the Women Who Drive Richmond, and it's 13 women. I think this is the third year, and it's about recognizing women who drive in whatever their capacity is. And so, the history of Richmond Black Restaurant Experience is that I sat two friends down. It's like, y'all think what y'all think? And we said a quick yes. And we've been driving ever since. So, just the same way we were talking about and celebrating our business owners, and we're forcing ourselves for Kelly to celebrate that. I really do appreciate people seeing us as well. I want people to know that what happens in 7 days takes an entire, if we were really at it for real, it would take 365 days for us to produce 14 days of experiences. It takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And so, thank you to RTD. Thank you to the nomination. Thank you to the other 12 women. And more importantly, to the next 13 women for next year that'll get the recognition as well.
It's sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's obvious here with Kelly. Talking about ourselves is hard, right?
I can talk about myself, child.
But well, never mind.
Right.
And I'm over talking about and Randy, I want to fall to the back.
Yeah.
I'm media. I'm in the I'm over it.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the reason
I'm
why-
surprised I'm sitting right here, right now, because
But
I don't even do the
No, she
media for this
doesn't.
anymore.
So, but it's important, right? It's not from a self-fulfilling perspective. I mean, I have a whole thing called Ladies Who Lead. It is important for someone else to see you.
And that's part of what how I was going to turn that, because I know that you're proud of her. And, you know, she obviously doesn't have a hard time talking about herself, but you sitting here by her, working with her collaboratively, like, I know you're happy to see her recognition.
Oh, yeah.
And you're able to MC the event. So is that add an extra special piece to it for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, again, we start, I mean, it was three, Kelly, Lori, myself, and, you know, another person that were like, how do we, the RTD had a similar awards ceremony that ordinary, it was something women, outstanding women or something, and it was voices, something, and this was just an extension of that with Kelly and Lori. And so the first year, you know, the nominees, I was like, okay, that's how you started off. Last year, I was like, okay, here we go. This year's group is really, really, really good. And so to me, when people get their flowers, it's also the right time. And what Mimi is doing is like literally driving Blackness into a totally different realm and making people look at it differently. And she's always done it from women leading first, you know, like that's her strong suit. And she'll talk somebody down in a second, boy. Don't get on her list. She will sit there and she will wait for you. You hear me? And so that's part of what makes our relationship good, is because like, I'll be like, all right, I know she's going to go over there and handle that. I don't have to worry about that. And the things that she knows that I do well, she'll let me handle.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, I'm super happy and proud of you. I've been seeing you lead for a long time. The stuff that she did with the Urban League was unlike any.
Still does.
And unlike anything I've ever seen anybody do.
Yeah, still does.
Still does. We here.
Yeah.
But
I'll write my epitaph. Here lies the lady who led. That's it. That's it. I appreciate y'all. And what Kelly, you know, has dubbed herself as Virginia's head cheerleader, but I am 100% like super protective on the low. She calls me mom because, you know, I kind of show up in a mothering way, but I'm very protective over some Kelly Lineage.
you're the general manager of the team.
I'm the mother bear.
I'd be like, mom, like
but
for real.
I'd be very mother bear. I'm very mother bear.
And you need that, you know, as much, and
yeah.
she needs me sometimes to be a kid and take us and bring
And soften it up a little
that
bit.
part, the childish out of it too. So
I'm proud of both of you all as not only women that lead, but just business people, period, that lead. So thank you guys for coming on the show. Thank you, Kelly. I know you don't want to come out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And again, it's who it is. I don't do anything I don't want to do. And so who it is. And you've been able to capture people's voices in a way that is engaging. And you're asking the questions that you don't know. You're being vulnerable to put yourself out there so that at least, because there's a lot of people out there that think they know the answers, but they don't. So
So
thank you.
And shout out to you too, Randy. Same thing. The growth that we have all seen in the past 10 to 15 years, this is not what we, you know, you used to become suited everywhere you go. You tat it all up, got yourself a wife and a baby, and you know, you in sneakers. This was not the Randy Wilson that I met, but you know, thank you for creating a platform for voices, particularly Black voices, politics, hip hop culture. We got you.
Remember, this is Randy Wilson Podcast, Virginia's podcast for the culture, from the culture, with two of our culture's most relevant women leaders in Richmond today. And so, not just Richmond, Virginia. All right. You can catch this podcast everywhere podcasts are played, but I'm going to encourage you to go to YouTube so you can see the ladies, and you can follow me on Instagram at Randy Wilson Podcast as well. Bye.